Hey guys, Austin here. Didn't exactly think I was gonna have to record this video, but as soon as I heard about this, I had to speak out. Now, for those of you who may or may not know, obviously you all know by now, that I'm a MAGA conservative Gen Zer. I think I kind of make it clear in my bio. But what you may or may not know about me, because I'm MAGA, and this should not surprise you much, I am a huge fan of MAGA superstar podcaster, whatever you want to call him, Benny Johnson. And, I mean, that's cool and all. I mean, I love his stuff. He has some funny takes. You know, he's some very good takes most of the time, at least in my opinion. I could be wrong. But, yeah, but I'm not only a fan of him, I'm also a fan of center-left, not center-left. I think there's one person I kind of like that's center-left, but we're not going to talk about her today. But center-right, YouTuber and podcaster, Brad Palumbo. And I was just watching his Brad vs. Everyone episode today. I think he dropped it yesterday. But anyways, near the end of his show, he addressed an issue that just came out. So there is this other YouTuber, and I kind of heard of this guy, but never watched his stuff. His name is CoffeeZilla, and he was reacting to some of Benny Johnson's takes about the stock market crashing. Like, we had that crash with Kamala Harris as the front face of all that, I guess is what you want to call it. And then the recent crash, that's not even quotes, it was a real crash, guys. I don't want to downplay one bit, under Trump's new tariff wars. And also there's another thing I'll quickly address right after this, but I want to zero in on Benny. Benny, bro, I like you a lot, and I hope you see this video. I know I'm small, I'm just getting started, I got a lot, that I want to put out to the world, and I guess you're probably one of my inspirations for doing this, so thank you, Benny. And also thank you, Brad. I want to give you your flowers too. I hope you see this too, Brad. But as a MAGA Republican myself, I mean, there is a point where you can't have double standards. And unfortunately, this is what we're seeing with Benny. And it's only on, like, certain issues, especially this crash that happened. When it was Kamala, he said, oh, the Kamala crash is starting. Yeah, true. Kamala may have been behind that one. But now we're under what I still believe is the greatest president of all time. I'm not going to stop saying that. But what I am going to say is that maybe not downplay the crash that just happened so much. I think it just happened like a few days ago. Someone can correct me about the dates in the comment section. I would love to hear what y'all got to say and, what y'all think about this situation. Benny, be consistent. This is what I would have said if I was Benny. I'm not Benny. I'm not even close to being Benny. Benny's, well, I think Brad described him as like a millionaire. Maybe he's a millionaire, I don't know. But he's definitely up there. And he's also has a lot more followers and subscribers than I do. Way more. But this is what I don't get. What you could have said, Benny, is this. Hey, yeah, maybe the tariffs was a little too much. You could... You have to walk the fine line between trying to keep everyone in a calm mode, but also not in panic mode, but also not acting like a total douchebag. I hope I'm making sense. If you think I'm not making sense, please tell me. I want you to tell me. But this is what I gotta say. Benny, you can say, look, maybe this was too much. And maybe this crash is really bad. And actually say, yeah, I think it is really bad. But maybe you can say, well, eventually it will balance out. This is a different crash. This is a crash that will eventually bring us back to the top. You know, it's like a quick spike. You know, we'll be back, maybe. But don't say like, oh, well, losing money's nothing. You can't say that. Losing money's nothing. Look, dude, I make my paychecks flex a little bit. I work at a local grocery store, okay? And those checks go up, down, depending on how many hours I work in a week. I'm not going to give you the dollar amounts because that would be totally ridiculous. But every middle class person that works even a part-time job, which I work a part-time job, knows the ups and downs of getting paid. You also know that as a middle class person, you can lose money like that. I'm not into stocks. I'm not a stocks guy. I'm not in the stock market. But bro, if I was and I lost money, I would not be saying like, yeah, I'll grow from this. You know, no, I'll be like, whoa, where did this come from, bruh? I was doing great just a week ago, or something like that. I would not be like, oh, You sound ridiculous, Benny, when you talk like that. There is a time to panic and a time to say, let's let it ride out. You could have said that, Benny, by the way. You said, yeah, well, let's ride this wave out. It'll balance itself out again. You could have said that, and maybe we could have had a discussion. That's what Brad said. We could have a discussion about that. Like, yeah, you may be off, but it's not so bad that we can't discuss this. This is hard to discuss, Benny. So anyways, I think what I'm trying to say is, look, we have to do better. And this is the problem with right-wing journalism in general. Ever since Tucker left, I've really started losing my trust for Fox. I don't even exactly watch Fox every day like some people do. But when I do, I usually respect them. You know, they seemed solid. Keyword. Until they dropped Tucker. That was a problem. A big problem. So, with that being said, you get really upset when your opponent does it, the opposite end does it, but when your boy does it, you act like it's not a big deal. That's not the way to take. That is not the pathway. If you want to give people faith in this new form of journalism called podcasting, YouTube, social media, if you want to give them that confidence, then I highly, highly suggest they start being consistent. Or if you do change your position, and this is what Brad said, if you change your position, stay consistent. Like, come out and say, okay, yo guys, I'm changing my position about this particular thing because of yada, yada, yada. And state your reason. Don't act like you didn't say something else like months ago. That's what Brad was trying to convey in that, response. And Coffeezilla was over here when because he was reacting to Benny. He was like, where did this come from? And then Brad reacted to that. He's like, yeah, you gotta really explain your position on why you changed. Why did you change? We're going to go back and see that, right? What you said prior about the combo crash. Make it make sense, Benny. Make it make sense. And, I'm not calling Benny a grifter. I'm not. I don't believe he's a grifter. Unless you can prove it. Try. Try proving he's a grifter. He's been fighting for Trump for a long time. I will say that. So, it's kind of hard to say that he is. I kind of question some of the people he, promotes on his X that I do believe are grifters. But I don't think he's a grifter here. Bad association, but I don't think he's an actual grifter, unless they influence him to be one. I don't know. I could be talking both sides of my mouth. Correct me, please. But, and then the whole, same episode, by the way. So, Peter Navarro and Elon Dugan. I mean, it's kind of funny, but at the same time, please, not so much the baby crap, please. Elon calling Navarro a retard or something, and then Navarro beforehand calling him, like, just an assembler. What is that? Really? Yeah, to stoop to that level. Guys, MAGA needs to unite. But this is my problem with Navarro, though, and I think Brad caught it spot on. He said this was exposed about 5 years ago. Peter Navarro literally, and I repeat, literally made up an economist just to back up his views. And he's done it multiple times in multiple, forms of, publication, whatever. That's just grounds for him being fired. And like Brad said, Trump, fire him, please. Get someone else that's more competent and will not make up fake economists just to back your point. So, yeah. The Tariff Wars are a very interesting story, apparently, and I guess we'll keep following that story and see where it'll lead. Anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap it up. Until next time, stay strong, guys. Stay consistent, and, yeah, that's it. Adios.